I've been up awfully early, and I'm in a very good mood.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing that can ruin this day. Nothing. Ain't nothing going to break my stride. Nobody going to slow me down. I got to keep on moving.
All right, if you keep doing that, that's going to ruin everyone's.
You're right. It's a song only I know. We're back in Better Than Ever. Mike and Mike presented by Progressive Insurance. Our guests on the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line, they will include Chris Collins, coach of Northwestern, in just a moment after what was inarguably the biggest win in program history. Now, that they don't have, unfortunately, there's not a lot of competition for that in that program, but it has to start somewhere, and it started in a very big way last night.
Well, and I'm really interested to ask from him, how much do you celebrate it? You know, how much do you celebrate? Because everybody thinks you're going to be in. There's been no announcement yet that you're in. You have more games to play. So what do you do with the players who, obviously a huge celebration, now you got to keep playing?
They play Purdue to wrap up the regular season this weekend, then the Big Ten tournament, and then whatever comes from that, well, you can ask him yourself.
Okay.
Here he is, the head coach of Northwestern University. And I'll let you ask a few questions first because I'll just lose my mind. Here's Chris Collins with us on Mike and Mike. Congratulations, Coach.
Thanks, guys. Good morning. Great to be on the show.
Great to have you, Coach, and congratulations. And I'm glad you set up the play for a guy that went to my high school, and Derek Pardon. I thought that was an excellent play. But so let's talk about that because Greeny did bring out the point. It's a tie game. So, you know, some say you're playing with the house money, just trying to get the winning shot in. If not, you go to overtime. But if that pass is long and goes out of bounds and without being touched, Michigan gets the ball right under their own basket. So talk about the setup to that play.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great question. As soon as the ball went out of bounds, we had a little bit of time to deliberate because they were going to the monitor to figure out exactly how much time was going to be left on the clock. And, my top assistant, Brian James, who was my high school coach and someone I trust as much as anybody in this, the first thing he said to me is, let's just get it in and go to overtime. There's not going to be enough time. Let's not risk anything bad. We got 5 minutes. We're at home. Let's just get this ball in bounds. And, sometimes your gut, sometimes your instincts just tell you something different. And my immediate gut instinct was, we got to go for this. If we're going to do something great, if we're going to cross that bridge, if we're going to get over that hump, we got to go for it. And he's, I gave him the board. He's our kind of special teams coordinator with that stuff. I said, draw it up. Let's go for the win. And obviously in the huddle, we told Taphorn about 11 times not to throw the ball long. I mean, that was what I kept saying. Do not airmail the pass. Make sure someone touches the ball. And when he first threw it, guys, I really thought it was too long. From my vantage point, I just said to myself, please, not tonight. But it ended up being an amazing pass, right on the money. So happy for Nate. And just a big-time win for our program.
Yeah, the last person who threw a better pass than that for Northwestern was Otto Graham. I mean, it's been 60 years.
I'm amazed, because that's what I was going to ask you. How many times did you tell that kid you can't be long on this? So I expected, man, maybe he'd short arm it. But I'll tell you what, that kid threw it. He put it out there. That was an amazing pass for knowing he couldn't throw that thing out of bounds.
Yeah, and the thing that was special about it, guys, and Greeny knows this because he follows us, early in the year, we had a gut-wrenching loss to Notre Dame. We had a 1-point lead, and with 20 seconds to go with the ball, and Taphorn was inbounding the ball, and he had a really tough turnover. He threw away the inbounds pass, and they scored and beat us on the last shot. So for him to kind of rectify that moment from early, that's what it's all about for these guys, and to be in that same situation with even more pressure, with even more on the line, and to come through the way he did, I was just so proud of him for doing that.
Yeah, it was against Notre Dame, so it was the right ending.
It was in Brooklyn, yeah. That was in Brooklyn early in the season, and Taphorn is one of the two seniors on this team who predate Chris, and so a great moment for him to have. And so now let's talk about it. And I know we can't talk about it like it's a foregone conclusion, regardless of what Joe Lunardi or anybody else says. But, not so long ago, Chris, maybe even as recently as when you were playing in the 90s at Duke, you probably could shield players from stuff, right? Coach K could say, I don't want you guys reading the paper, listening to the radio, or whatever it is. In this day and age, there's no way for all of the conversation about Northwestern and will it be the year they get their first chance in the NCAA tournament, there was no way for you to keep that from the kids. So how did you handle that with them up to the entire season? A tough loss against Indiana the other night, going into this game last night. How have you handled that?
Well, for most of the year, I've tried to skirt, the elephant in the room. I've tried my best to find other motivations within the season because there were other milestones along the way we were achieving, during this year, what these guys have been doing. I've been trying, I know how it is, and the pressure that's out there. And as a coach, you want to shield that from your guys so they can just go out and play. After the Indiana game, though, I kind of reversed course on that. We got back the next day in practice. I kind of went the other way. I just felt it was time to talk about it and address it. And, basically I told the guys there was pressure and we had to meet it head on. And if we're going to do this, if we're going to do something great, if we're going to cross that bridge, if we're going to get over the hump, anything in life that you do that's good, there's pressure involved. And we're going to have to meet this head on. So I kind of switched it up. I'm not sure if it helped or if it didn't help But like to your point, these guys live on their phones. They live on social media. There's no way to avoid, what was out there. There have been so much pressure on these guys the last couple of weeks with articles and attention. And, then we lost a few games and it became, is it going to be a collapse? And, it's been such a great group and they've deserved this so much that, for them to do what they did last night under that kind of pressure and to do it at home with the crowd, it just was a really special night for the team and for the program.
So what was said, what'd you say last night after the game to them as far as playing well, the congratulations of it, and then how long does that last before you got other games?
Yeah, I mean, you always celebrate a big win no matter what time, especially if you win at the buzzer. So there was a lot of hugging, a lot of celebrating. But we talked about that it's not over, like you said. I mean, it's a perfect example. I just hope now we can kind of let some of that pressure that they were feeling about the tournament, about what was going to happen, about the burden of 80 years of not going. I hope some of that now can be free from them, and we can just go out and attack the rest of the journey of trying to win. We have a great opportunity Sunday. We got the league champions, Purdue, one of the best teams in the country, coming to our building. Our building's going to be renovated after this year, so it's the last game in the history of that arena. We got a great challenge ahead of us with the Big Ten tournament in D.C. next week. And, then God willing, and I think we deserve it, have a great chance to be in the NCAA tournament. So we still feel there's a lot to play for, and I'm hoping now with, kind of getting over the hump last night with that win, we can just be ourselves and go out there and attack the rest of the season the best way we can.
Mike and Mike, Chris Collins, coach at Northwestern, is with us. Did you finally find someone last night to hug?
I felt like Jimmy V, guys. Really, I did. The shot went in and everyone went running away, and I was looking around and I kind of had tears in my eyes, and there was no one there for me. So I was laughing about it afterwards, but I finally found my wife, which was a special moment because, as you guys know, and you're in this, it's a family investment when you do these things and the sacrifices that they make along the way. So to have my kids there and my family, I mean, to find them and hug them, that was really special.
And your dad, Doug, was calling the Cavaliers-Celtics game. He did get a chance to talk about it during that broadcast. Have you had a chance to speak with him? And if so, how was that conversation?
Yeah, I spoke to him last night late after his game was over, and it probably was better, guys, that he wasn't there. There might have been some epic clips from his facial expressions. Greeny was there at the Rutgers game. You guys all saw it. So it probably was better that he had to work and get his mind off it. But I was hoping they would show him the clip at least, and it sounds like they did. And he's just so proud and so excited. He's kind of the grandfather to our program. He's around a lot. He stops by. The guys really love having him around, and he's been a great mentor to me and the players. So, he was so proud of us and what we did, and can't wait to see him in person and give him a big hug.
Yeah, I actually was texting with him after the game. He's an emoji guy. You wouldn't get, for these little facts you wouldn't guess about Doug Collins.
He texts
with a lot of emojis. Yeah. Does he do that to you?
A lot. The worst thing my sister ever did was teach him how to text. It was better when he didn't know how to text, but now he's the emoji king. He's got them all, and it's awesome. It's so neat that he can be a part of this. And it's when we took this on 4 years ago. It was I knew it was going to be tough. I knew it was going to be a big journey, and to see this kind of come to fruition. And I hope we're just getting started. For me, it's about doing this for a long time, not just having one team that does well. And I think we're on to the start of something good, which is really exciting.
Yeah, for those who don't know, Chris Collins grew up basically a half hour away from Northwestern. He was Mr. Basketball in the state, playing at Glenbrook North, which is for all intents and purposes, right down the street. So this is something that you've been trying to get ready for basically your entire life. And listen, we have such a disproportionate number of famous people that went to our school that have been talking about this nonstop on television. But just as one of those people, as an alum, congratulations. It was the single biggest moment in the history of the basketball program last night. And like you, I hope that it is just the very beginning of something we'll be talking about for a long time. So congratulations, and we'll see you this weekend.
All right, guys. Thanks. Appreciate it.